I can't say exactly when it started. Not with a bang, not even with a whisper. Just a quiet shift, like how the seasons change when you're not looking. One day, I was climbing the stairs 2 at a time, and the next, I was holding the rail a little tighter. It's strange how your body speaks to you. Not with words, but with delays, hesitations, stumbles. At first, I brushed it off. Just tired, I'd say. Or didn't sleep well. But eventually, those little excuses couldn't hide the truth. My body was changing. Aging wasn't the problem. Denial was. Warning number 1, the gentle tug in my chest, heart trouble. It began one morning in late autumn. I was raking the yard, something I'd done for decades, when I felt a dull pressure right in the middle of my chest. Not sharp, not dramatic. Just a slow, insistent squeeze, like someone placing a hand there and refusing to let go. I sat down on the steps and waited for it to pass. It did, so I told myself it was nothing. But it came back, on the stairs, after walks. Once, in the middle of the night, an ache in my arm, a strange tightness stealing my breath. That time I listened. I went to the doctor. After tests, ECG, blood work, echo, I heard words that froze me. Early stage heart failure. I was one of the 17% of adults over 70 with coronary artery disease. Silent, subtle, but serious. The doctor told me something I'll never forget. Your heart's been warning you kindly. It's true. About 23% of heart attacks in seniors come with silent symptoms: fatigue, jaw or back pain, strange discomfort. No drama, just whispers. My squeeze wasn't aging. It was a sign that I nearly ignored. Medication helped, so did changes to my diet. But the real change came from learning to listen. I walked slower, breath deeper. I stopped treating pain as a test of strength. I learned that awareness isn't fear, it's power. That tiny ache in my chest saved my life. And now, each breath feels like a quiet victory. Sometimes, we wait for pain to scream before we care. But our bodies rarely scream. They whisper, they nudge. They ask us to pay attention. If your chest feels different, if you notice pressure, fatigue, or shortness of breath, don't wait for it to get worse. Don't wait for drama. Act now while it's still gentle. I tell this story not because it's rare, but because it's common. So many of us feel these signs and brush them off. I was lucky. I listened just in time. But what if I hadn't? What if I waited one more week? One more excuse? Please don't make that mistake. You matter. Your body matters. If this story feels familiar, you're not alone. Chest pressure, no matter how small, deserves attention. If you felt something similar or know someone who has, share your story in the comments. It might help someone else listen sooner. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Together, we notice more. Warning number 2, the vanishing pounds, unintended weight loss. I didn't notice it right away. It was my daughter, during a Sunday visit, who said, "Dad, your belt looks loose." I laughed, said I must have skipped lunch. But that night, I stood in front of the mirror. She was right. My arms looked thinner. My face more drawn. I'd lost nearly 6 pounds in a month without trying. At first, I felt oddly proud. I'd struggled with weight for years, but pride gave way to unease. I wasn't eating less. I wasn't moving more. And I didn't feel well. I'd begun waking up sweaty, cold, confused. I blamed the thermostat, my pajamas, anything but the truth that something deeper might be going on inside. Eventually, I saw a doctor. Blood tests revealed inflammation and digestive issues I'd ignored. He said unintentional weight loss in people over 70 more than 5% in 6 months is a red flag. Malabsorption, cancer, thyroid problems, chronic infections, any of them can hide behind shrinking numbers on a scale. Roughly 12% of adults over 70 experience significant unintended weight loss each year. For many, it's the first sign of something serious. But because it happens slowly, quietly, it's easy to dismiss. We confuse it with healthy change. We celebrate what should concern us. In my case, it wasn't cancer, but it could have been. The inflammation was real, and untreated, it would have caused more damage. Now I weigh myself weekly, not obsessively, but attentively. Because when the body starts changing without a reason, it's not just age. It's a message. Sometimes the scariest signs aren't loud, they're invisible. A looser belt, a hollower cheek, a sudden dip in energy. These changes matter. I've learned to respect my body not just when it hurts, but when it subtly shifts. Because health doesn't vanish overnight, it fades quietly unless you're watching. Have you or someone you love noticed weight loss that didn't make sense? It's more than numbers, it's a whisper from within. Share your story in the comments. Like and subscribe if this helped you reflect. Sometimes awareness is all it takes to catch something early and maybe even save a life. Warning number 3: slipping names, fading days, memory loss, and mild confusion. I forgot my neighbor's name, the man I'd known for 20 years. I could picture his face, his wife, the dog he walked every morning, but his name? Gone. I stood there on the sidewalk, smiling, nodding, pretending. Then I went inside and cried. It felt like losing something small and sacred. It didn't stop there. I forgot where I left my keys. Missed a prescription refill. Asked the same question twice at dinner. I started writing notes to myself on sticky pads, napkins, anything. I was afraid to say anything. What if it was the beginning of the end? I told my doctor quietly during a checkup. He listened, tested me gently. The result? Mild cognitive impairment MCI. Not dementia, not yet, but a fork in the road. One path leads back with the right care. The other doesn't. Around 16% of people over 70 experience MCI. I wasn't alone. In my case, it was a mix of vitamin B12 deficiency and untreated sleep apnea. Both common, both correctable. With injections, dietary changes, and a CPAP machine, things slowly improved. My mind didn't snap back overnight, but I began remembering again. Thinking clearer. Feeling like me. Memory loss is cruel because it steals in pieces. It doesn't take everything. It takes just enough to make you doubt yourself. One lost name, one missed step, and suddenly you feel like a stranger in your own story. But it doesn't always mean the end. Sometimes it's just a detour. Now I do crossword puzzles. I journal. I have a morning routine with no distractions. And I never ignore the fog when it returns. Because sometimes it's not just getting older, it's your brain asking for help. You just have to answer before the silence gets too loud. Have you ever had a moment like that, where your mind felt distant? Drop a comment below. Let others know they're not alone. And if this story made you pause, consider subscribing. Because sometimes one quiet reminder can bring someone back to themselves. Warning number 4: when the ground tilted, dizziness and balance issues. It happened in the kitchen. I turned to grab a plate and the world spun. My knees gave way and I caught the counter just in time. I slid to the floor, heart pounding, waiting for the dizziness to stop. That moment changed how I looked at everything, even the floor beneath my feet. Over the next few weeks, it happened again when I bent down. When I stood too fast, when I turned my head in bed, I started holding stair rails with both hands. Every crack in the sidewalk felt like danger. I wasn't just dizzy, I was scared. And I hadn't felt that way in years. My doctor ran tests. The culprit? A side effect of blood pressure medication, something I'd been taking for years without issue. Turns out, even familiar meds can change how they affect you as you age. And dizziness isn't just a nuisance. It's one of the leading causes of falls after 70. Falls are serious. Nearly 28% of adults over 70 fall every year. Many lead to fractures, hospital stays, and worse. But we still don't talk about it enough. We dismiss it. I got up too fast, we say. But what if that stumble is a symptom, not just a fluke? The doctor adjusted my meds. I started balance exercises. I put grab bars in the shower. And most importantly, I stopped pretending. Pride is heavy, but it doesn't break bones. The floor will. Now I move slowly, not out of fear, but out of respect for my body and what it's told me. What shocked me most wasn't the dizziness, it was how easily I almost ignored it. Just a spell, I thought, just tired. But my body was screaming in a whisper. And if I hadn't listened, I might have learned the hard way flat on my back in a hospital bed. If you've ever felt the world spin beneath you, you're not alone. Share your moment below, let someone else feel seen. Like this video and subscribe for more real stories. Because awareness can keep us on our feet, literally and figuratively. Warning number 5. The sleepless nights and the silent gut. Sleep and digestive changes. I used to sleep like a log. Head hits the pillow, lights out. But somewhere along the way, sleep became complicated. I'd wake up gasping, heart racing. Sometimes it was a nightmare. Other times, nothing. Just wide awake, staring into the dark. And then came the stomach troubles, bloating, random cramps. Nights where I couldn't lie flat without discomfort. I blamed dinner. I blamed coffee. But eventually, I ran out of excuses. I wasn't eating late. I wasn't drinking caffeine. Still, something wasn't right. My doctor suggested a sleep study. The results shocked me. Obstructive sleep apnea. My oxygen dipped. My brain jolted me awake to survive. That's why I was always tired. Why I couldn't think straight some mornings. And the gut problems? They were part of the same story. As we age, we produce less melatonin, less stomach acid. Digestion slows, sleep lightens. Our systems drift out of rhythm. Nearly 19% of older adults have persistent sleep problems. About 14% have unexplained digestive discomfort that isn't just about food, it's about function. The connection between gut and brain was something I'd heard about but never felt until now. My insomnia fed my anxiety. My stomach flared when I felt stressed. It was a feedback loop that robbed me of rest and peace. And I hadn't noticed it was building. Now I eat smaller meals at night. I avoid screens before bed. I sip peppermint tea. I journal to calm my thoughts. And I use a CPAP machine, not glamorous, but life-changing. Sleep returned slowly, and with it came energy, patience, and a strange joy I'd missed. I don't take sleep for granted anymore, or digestion, or the quiet harmony between the two. Rest isn't just a luxury, it's survival, and discomfort isn't just age. It's the body asking for balance, whispering, something's off, asking, will you listen? Some nights I still wake up, but now I know what to do. I don't panic, I breathe, I listen. And I remind myself this isn't weakness, it's wisdom. Paying attention isn't giving up. It's showing up for your body, for your future, for peace. Closing reflection, listening to the body that's carried me. I'm not afraid of aging, I'm afraid of ignoring it. The warnings were there, not dramatic, not loud, but real. Every ache, every breath, every forgotten word, it all meant something. Aging doesn't betray us, it just whispers. And those whispers are worth listening to. This body carried me through weddings and funerals, joy and heartbreak, war and wonder. It deserves more than denial. It deserves care, attention, respect. If something here felt familiar, don't keep it to yourself. share it below. Your story may help someone else hear their own body more clearly. And if you've ever wondered how to stay strong and joyful after 70, check out our video. How to stay happy and healthy after 70 to 5 key tips. Because listening is the first step, but living well, that's the real reward.